Illustrator.org podcast coming your way. Stevesmi here and the Rick in the house. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Steve? What's up, guys? How's everybody doing out there?
Good. So yeah, man, let's do it. 365. This is another Q&A episode. We have 5 really cool topics. So first one we're going to talk about is I'm already on a 500 milligram a week test cycle. I want to add winny to it. What support products do I need? So right off the bat, that's a typical cookie cutter cycle. 500 milligrams of test a week. That's what it's a moderate dosage of testosterone. So right off the bat, I would hope you're already taking your support supplements, because the big misconception we see out there, Rick, is guys are under the impression, 500 milligrams of test, that's a mild cycle. That's not going to give me any side effects. It's just not true. You're still going to get a ton of estrogenic and androgenic side effects, DHT side effects as well on that cycle. And the DHT side effects are very difficult to combat without actually coming off. So, in the short term, you need to be thinking about those androgenic and estrogenic side effects that you're going to get at 500 milligrams a week of testosterone. It is not a low side effect cycle. You're using very serious hormones here. These are serious hormones that cause issues with your cholesterol, with your liver, with your kidneys. Okay, all these things affect the body, inflammation, gut health. So you really have to go into cycle healthy. And then during cycle, you have to already be running your support supplements. So if you want to add Winstrol to it, that's fine. I don't got a problem with that. I don't have a problem with running an oral, even if it's your first cycle with a steroid like testosterone. I don't have any issues with it. But keep in mind, when you add Winstrol to it, you're going to be adding more androgenic, more estrogenic, and more DHT side effects on top of your cycle. So your side effects are going to get worse when you're on, if you're going to add Winstrol. So right off the bat, you already need to be on an AI. Okay, so you need to be on Aromacin or Arimidex. Those are the 2 main AIs. You need to be on your N2 guard for your support supplements that can take care of your organs. You need to be staying in good shape. That means you should be moving around. You should be, even on days you don't hit the gym, you still need to do some exercise to keep your heart healthy. You need to make sure you're sleeping well on cycle, because if you don't sleep well on cycle, you're not going to recover. You're not going to repair all the damage you're doing to your body. So all these factor in as to what support supplements you need. Rick, what's your opinion on this?
All right. Well, whenever you're taking injectable steroids, they are going to have an effect on your liver. Matter of fact, if you can get your hands on legitimate pharmacy grade testosterone, some of the stuff Bayer makes, for example, in the package inserts, it'll warn you about liver toxicity. So you definitely want to take the N2 guard. Adding Winstrol on top of that, obviously, N2 guard is a must. If you're doing Winstrol and testosterone, there's a very good chance that your goal is to get lean. So I would obviously take some N2 with the product as well. N2 is going to help you make that a nice lean bulk. Or if you're cutting fat, it's going to make it just that much easier for you to lose the body fat. So N2 guard, go to n2guard.com, and N2 go to n2sling.com. Another problem that you might encounter with these 2 steroids, specifically stacking these 2, is some hair loss. So definitely using a hair loss shampoo, such as N2 shampoo, definitely using my hair loss shampoo, which is specifically designed for steroid users. It's going to help you not shed a ton of hair while you're on the steroid. Go to n2shampoo.com. Those 3 are probably the main ones that you want to take whenever you take this kind of mix. You need to make sure that all of your vitamins and minerals requirements are taken care of. And you also have some liver support, some cholesterol support, kidney support, and N2 guard will take care of you there. If you also want something that's going to help you just shift that balance so that most of the calories that you consume are being stored in the muscle, helping to build new muscle, helping to make your muscle cells larger. N2 is good for that. And you also want to block these heavy androgens, the DHT, the dihydrotestosterone that comes from the conversion of testosterone, also the Winstrol. So in that case, N2 shampoo is the best way to go. And those are the top 3 I would take. Now, You'd want to have an anti-estrogen on hand. I like aromatase, but aromacin is also a good one that you can find in the research realm. So I would have some aromatase on hand or aromacin on hand. And just as a precautionary measure is what I do. I just always take Novadex, even if it's just a tiny bit, 5-10 mgs a day. Yeah, I've done as little as 5 mgs every other day, just on cycle, just as an additional measure to make sure that this is because I'm prone to gynecomastia, just to make sure that I don't develop any symptoms, any skyno symptoms. But this is it's a nice cycle. Testosterone and Winstrol's pretty classic, and you definitely could make some great progress on that cycle.
The next one is right up your alley, Rick. This guy wants to talk about, he's an MMA mixed martial artist, and he's also doing boxing. He's one of those guys who like to do those both, which is, a really good workout. And he's saying that he ran Dbol on someone's advice and his performance is down, meaning his performance in the ring is down. And he wants to know why that happens because he thinks that, hey, I'm using steroids, my performance should go up. So why did his performance dip on Dbol? What's your experience as a guy who's into fighting with your steroids?
Well, Dianabol is probably one of the worst you can do when you are doing boxing or MMA or any kind of fighting. It's going to put on some water weight, which you don't want, right? You don't want to hold all this water. It is also going to cause some pumps, and it's dose dependent. So if you are top level athlete and you take 5 little milligrams of Dbol a day, 10 little milligrams of Dbol a day, you're going to see some performance improvement. You're going to be okay. There will be some additional water retention. It'll be a little bit harder to get rid of water, but you'll be just fine performance wise. You're going to feel good. Once you start going above 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 mgs of Dbol, now it's counterproductive. Now the water retention issue becomes a problem. Now you start to get pumps and your muscles begin to get tight. That is powerlifting realm, just very low repetition, high strength performance steroid when you get into the 30, 40, 50 milligram realm. So, if you're a top level athlete, just a little bit of steroids, just 5 little mgs, 10 little milligrams of Dbol a day on top of what your body makes naturally, you're pretty good. You're pretty good there. You will find some performance improvement. But, all in all, Dianabol would probably not be the one I would be taking if I was an athlete. Honestly, nowadays, if I was going to be using some kind of PD for fighting, GW and Osterin, that's about all you need. GW and Osterin. It's a boxer, unless you're trying to go up a weight class, you don't want something that builds mass unless you're trying to go up a weight class. You don't want something that's going to make your muscles larger. As a fighter, you want to be as strong and as light as you possibly can. Be as strong and as light as you possibly can. And that'll give you an advantage above everybody else. If you're a bulky guy, then you're going to run into an issue. You don't want to be a bulky guy in fighting. And it's also in Dianabol, it's probably going to have a counterproductive effect on your cardio. So it's just a bad choice of compounds for a performance athlete, in my opinion. And I probably wouldn't be just taking someone's advice. I mean, Dianabol for a fighter, unless you go really, really tiny milligrams, you're just going to be counterproductive, at least compared to everything else that's available out there.
So there is one benefit of taking Dbol. It's a rise of red blood cells in the body, and that does boost endurance. Absolutely, that's true. The problem is there's probably 10 negative things. So I can remember I ran Dbol, and then I ran a 5K. I got invited to a private 5K run for charity. So I showed up. I expected to probably get second or third place in this 5K. So we start the race. There was about 40, 50 people that showed up, for charity. And we start the race. I'm pacing everybody. I'm pacing with the fastest guy there, who was like a world-renowned triathlete. And I'm like, man, I'm going to do good in this race. Then once we get close to a mile into it, my calves felt like they were going to explode. And that's the problem with Dbol, the pumps. The pumps are just going to destroy your endurance. So if you're an MMA guy or boxer, like Rick was saying, and you're in the ring, you're probably going to feel good, a little good at first, but then the longer it goes on, yeah, it's going to catch up to you. So yeah, not a good idea. You definitely want to not run anything that gives you pumps. The Dbols, the VARs, the Winstrels, those give you really, really bad pumps. You can get away with it if you're just like a sprinter, or if you're just boxing like for one round, or doing MMA for like half a round or something like that. But if you need to be in the ring a while, you're not gonna do well on it. So it's all about trial and error, guys. And if you don't believe us on that, go ahead and run the Dbol like this guy did and learn your lesson the hard way. And that's how it goes. So there's better options. EQ is a good one, because EQ, you won't get those pumps on EQ. It's very mild. So you'll get the benefits of the red blood cell count, but you won't get the pump. So EQ is one of the best for endurance.
Yeah, I mean, you could try EQ or DECA. Those two would be beneficial at small dosing, but that long ester chain is going to be in your system and detectable for a very long time. One of the things that makes orals appeal to athletes is that they can come off this stuff, and with enough time, you will test clean. But, you use DECA, nandrolone, or EQ, and you win a fight, maybe two, and then you have a big break and you get tested. I mean, if you took that DECA or that EQ within the last 12 months of your big break, your big fight that you might end up getting tested for, you're going to pop dirty. So, there aren't really a lot of choices when it comes to steroids. I think nowadays for athletes, between SARMs and peptides, you're pretty well covered for performance and for strength and recovery and injury, both injury prevention and healing from injuries. Peptides and SARMs will tend to cover most performance athletes out there.
All right, guys. So the next one is 8 years off steroids, want to come back. What would you suggest? All right. So, yeah, Rick. I'll admit, like, this is a good question right now, especially with a lot of people not able to go to the gym. A lot of people struggling financially. They're taking a break. That $40-$50 a month gym membership. It's a luxury. So a lot of people taking a break from the gym. So they're going to want to come back. So 8 years is a long time. So my first question to you is, what have you been doing the past year? I want to know what you've been doing the past year. Have you been working out? Have you been staying in shape? Are you still lean? If the answer is no to any of those questions, I would want you first to get conditioned, because why would you run a steroid cycle and then spend half the cycle sore every day? Doesn't make any sense. You want to condition your body to deal with working out and weight training and resistance training. Because when you resist train, you really, you tear down those muscles. So I'm telling you, if you haven't worked out even in a long time, and then you hop on steroids and then you start working out again, it's not going to end well for you. You won't even be able to walk the next day. So how the hell are you going to work out? Like, you can't even walk around. So having fun over there, Rick? So I'm going to bring in Rick. Rick's spraying his face with some pesticide, I think. What are you doing?
I just got a shave and a cut, so I'm putting some.
Okay. Oh yeah. You look good. You look shaved good. So what do you think about this one, Ray? Got 8 years with no steroids. That's crazy.
Well, did you take off from the gym and from working out? That's a big question. If you took off from the gym and working out altogether, man, you just got to build those habits, build your gym grind back up, build your diet back up. Don't use steroids as a crutch to keep you motivated and keep you in line. Just make sure you develop the habits first before you throw the steroids on top. Make sure you're already on the ground. You're already doing it. And then you've got something going on. Then you've got something good. But you can't You can't just take off from training and then jump back on the sauce right away. I wouldn't do that. Now, if you've just stopped taking steroids and you've stayed consistent in the gym and consistent in training for 8 years, I mean, what do you want me to tell you, buddy? I mean, you should know by now what your body responds to. You should know by now what compounds work well for you. Obviously, after 8 years, things are going to work differently. Everything works differently after 8 years. From the exercises feel different to your diet feels different. We all go through that. Everything that you used to eat that you get away with, somehow now you can't. Some steroids that didn't give you bad side effects, all of a sudden they might. So I would just start kind of where I left off, see what steroids I was happy with that did well for me, and start off with a slow cycle of those. Make sure I have all my anti-estrogens on hand. Make sure I have, if I'm going to do something that might mess with prolactin levels or anything like that, make sure you have your Caber, your Pramiplex. Make sure you have some of this stuff on hand, Novadex. Have some of these things on hand in case bad side effects do arise. But just kind of go back in your mind to the stuff that worked for you, and then start adding it in slowly. Start off with a very small cycle. After 8 years, the steroids are going to feel pretty new to your receptors again. So you should be making some really good progress on just your first comeback cycle. That's the main thing. Just go back to what you knew used to work for you. Start trying that out. And 8 years, man, there's more stuff out there now. There's more compounds out there that you can experiment with as time goes on. So that's about it, man. But the main thing is, it's all right to take 8 years from shooting steroids, but don't ever take 8 years of a training, man. Like that. And I know some guys do. They say, oh, I had this job. Oh, I got married. Wow, the kids. Wow, we can make excuses as to why you can't train. But look, if you're really that busy at your worst, you should be doing 10, 15 minutes of stretching, yoga every morning, and then doing push-ups and sit-ups next to your bed every day at night. If your life got really that busy and that hectic where you couldn't get out to the gym, you should at least just make it your goal every night, do 100 push-ups, do planks, do some crunchies, 5-10 minutes every night. Even if you can't get out to the gym, you should never give up on your physical training, no matter what. And I can see, you take a pause for a few weeks, couple of months. I did that recently doing yoga to get my body kind of feeling good again. That's fine. If you got to take a couple of months off, just a mental refresh, it's all right. But 8 years, never take that much time off, guys. Just don't do it to yourself ever. If you really, really, really have such a hectic lifestyle that you just can't get out to the gym, you should at least be doing your push-ups, sit-ups, some squats right next to your bed before bed, doing some stretching in the morning, maybe a little 10, 15-minute yoga routine that you can easily find on your phone and YouTube. There's really no reason to completely give up on training and on exercising your body. It's quite necessary for us to do that. So don't do that.
Yeah, and they have I mentioned that in the prior podcast. Rick likes to go on what's it called, OnlyFans or whatever, and pay for some shows. But what I
gets
do
paid. I don't pay. I gets
pay
paid
you.
on OnlyFans.
They pay you. A lot of these yoga chicks.
If you want to find my OnlyFans, go to www.rickyvrock.com. That's RICKY, V as in victory, ROCK.com, and you'll find my social. And
we talked about that on the pre-show. I told Rick I don't like bald men. Sorry, he's been asking me for my phone number. He's been asking me for my address. He's asking for. I'm like, dude.
Been asking you for your credit card information, bro.
Like, bro, chill.
Better send me some tokens.
A lot of these places, these gyms, these yoga studios, personal trainers, yoga instructors, look, that they gave up real jobs, 9-to-5 jobs to do this. So help them out, man. Like, help them out. Go on the websites. Track them down on social media. Be like, look, can I throw you 10, 15 bucks? Can you, you know, give me like a half hour session with you? Like, you know, let's Zoom each other, let's FaceTime each other, let's get a workout in together. And they'll do it. I mean, a lot of them are doing that nowadays. So they'll hook you up. I mean, throw them like 15, 20 bucks for like 30 minutes, man. I mean, they could use the cash right now. So, I mean, a lot of them are doing that. And you know, that's how it goes. I mean, so there's really no excuses. Like Rick said, find a freaking tree and do some pull-ups. I mean, there's trees all over the place. Find a tree with a branch and do some.
There's a $20 bar that you can buy and put it on around your door frame. There's a $20 bar you can put around your door frame. There's those little rolling things with the wheels for your abs. You could just keep a small home gym right under your bed and get your workout in every night. Just exercise your body, clear your mind. You shouldn't take this much time off, guys. Your body's not meant for it. Sitting down, it's the new smoking, in my opinion. You really want to get up and go, get a walk in. You know, if you've got to have a long phone call or you got to talk to someone, just don't sit and talk. Get up and go. Just being sedentary, sitting on your ass, it's about one of the worst things you can be doing for your health right now. So make sure you get up and go. Get up and get out of the house. Get up and get going. It'll help your mental state. It'll help your digestion. It'll help your back health. It'll help your muscles health. It can improve the way you feel on a day-to-day basis just by getting up and getting a walk in. Even if you're just on the phone or making a long phone call or whatever it is, get that walk in. Don't sit around, guys.
You can go, you know, adopt a friend. You can go adopt a doggy, a greyhound. They have greyhound adoptions, and you can adopt a buddy to take running. They'll love to run with you. I mean, they will run like you could try to keep up with them. Go to a soccer field and just run with the greyhound. They'll have a blast running with you. Get a dog, just walk the dog, take the dog to the beach, let them go, take them to the lake, play with them. Just get active, like, you know, and that's the best thing to do. A dog will force you to be active because the dog needs to exercise. A dog will be depressed and upset if you don't exercise them. We as human beings, we're just too smart for our own good, aren't we? Like, we can sit around and just watch TV all day and we're happy with that. But really, you're depressed if you do that. So
get a bicycle, get a one by. I feel like when I'm going to take my mountain bike out, I feel like I've got to do something serious. My 10-speed mountain bike, so I don't really take it out many places, but I have a small BMX bike and I go everywhere in that thing. I feel it's more convenient to just hop in my BMX bike with a book bag, go down to the store, go to the bank, go to the post office, do what I need to do in my grind in my BMX bike. I feel so good doing that. I feel that, you know, if you're going to get in the car and go anywhere, because you're going far and you need a car. But if you're just going to go pick something up at the store or, you know, just do a very short, quick run of anything, don't get in your car to go 4 or 5 blocks, guys. I mean, just keep your bike right next to your garage door. If you have an automatic garage door, just pop it open, hop on your bike, go, close it with the remote. You know, go what you need to do. Just bicycle, little BMX bike will take you anywhere. One gear, so you need, and just do that. It'll clear your mind. It'll get you places really fast, and you're reversing some of that sitting around you're doing at most modern jobs today. You're just sitting around, you know, sitting. You're going to probably hear me say a lot on this podcast from here on out. Sitting is the new smoking.
All right, guys. So next one is eggs, egg whites versus whole eggs. I think, you know, let me just say this one, eggs. Okay. The type of eggs you get matter. Okay. If the chicken is eating crap, stuck in a cage, spreading disease amongst each other, being miserable, it's not going to be a high quality egg. It's not going to be a nutritious egg. If the chicken is outside, running around in the sunshine, getting the vitamins it needs from the sun, the vitamin D, feeding its bones, eating bugs, eating seeds off the ground, pecking.
You like to give your chickens the vitamin D, right, Steve?
But get serious, please. We're not at the club, okay? Please get serious here, okay? We're not at the club.
What kind of accent is that? Is that a Persian accent? What is that?
It's from a video. There's some judge. It was a Cuban judge, and he was this girl was like high. You ever seen that video? It's like a viral video.
No.
And he's like, please get serious, man. He's like, man, you get serious, okay? This is not the club, okay? She's like in court, like high, acting crazy. He's like, get serious. So yeah, what was I saying? Okay, yeah. So if the chicken is happy running around in the sun, getting the vitamins, eating the insects off the ground, pecking seeds, eating seeds, playing and stuff, it's gonna lay healthy eggs, nutritious eggs. You ever buy like the cheap 99-cent eggs from like Walmart? They smell like chemicals. They taste like chemicals because they're feeding the chickens freaking chemicals, right? But a chicken that's outside enjoying life, eating what they're supposed to be eating, not eating crap, the eggs taste so freaking good. So you want to make sure you get the high quality eggs. Look for the humane friendly stamp on the egg cartons. That will tell you what the chicken's life is and what it's been eating. That will tell you most of what. Don't just look for cage free, because cage free doesn't mean shit. They could be stuck in a barn and still call it cage free. That's a misleading thing that egg companies do. I've written articles on this. Very, very important. There's websites where you can go actually see, they rank egg companies. So really, like if you go to a Whole Foods, most of the eggs they sell at Whole Foods are going to be high quality, 5-star eggs, pastured, humane friendly eggs. If you go to Walmart, you're not going to find any good quality eggs. So if you're buying your eggs from Walmart, you're not doing yourself any favor. So the quality of the egg matters. How you cook it matters. Very, very important. If you fry the egg in vegetable oil, okay, it's not going to be healthy for you. But if you cook the egg lightly in raw coconut oil, leave the yolks a little runny, okay, you will be fine. You will not get salmonella because the egg quality you're getting are fine. But if you get low quality eggs, they're going to carry these diseases like salmonella and stuff because the chickens were sick, diseased, and they were picking up different things from the other chickens there. So another option is going to a farm, getting high quality eggs from a farm fresh, where you can kind of like see how the chickens are being treated, what they're eating and all that stuff. So those are the two options. More important than worrying about egg whites versus egg yolk is the quality of the eggs and how you cook the eggs. Those are the two things you need to be worried about, in my opinion. A lot of people, they want to argue, oh, egg white versus egg yolk. I don't see anything wrong with the egg yolk because it's full of nutrition, the egg yolk, as long as you cook it properly. If you overcook the egg yolk, then it's not going to be good for you. But if you cook it properly, it's damn good for you. And this whole thing, oh, eggs have tons of cholesterol. If you eat something with cholesterol, it doesn't raise the cholesterol in your body. When are we going to stop pushing these myths out there that people believe in? That's not the way it works. Cholesterol is a regulatory force in your body. If you are under stress, if you're eating a poor diet, if you're taking drugs, whether it be prescription, recreational, your cholesterol levels are going to be off. If you're taking steroids, your cholesterol levels are going to be off. That's the way it works. But if you're healthy and you cycle off steroids and you cycle on steroids properly, you won't have cholesterol issues. So anyone out there with cholesterol issues, you need to fix that. But your eggs are not giving you cholesterol issues. That is a myth that is incorrectly pushed by these people who think that if you consume something with cholesterol, it's going to raise cholesterol in your body. That is not how our bodies work. So don't be scared of eating eggs. Eggs are one of the more healthy things out there for us. And don't worry about separating the egg yolk from the egg whites. That is just silly. That's like counting macros and counting calories. Calories do matter, but it's the type of calories that matter. And that's the truth on that. So that's my opinion on it. Rick, I'm curious to hear your opinion.
Your body needs cholesterol. That's how you make testosterone. In your testicles, cholesterol is the granite. And then your body uses different enzymes and chemical processes to actually cleave parts of that cholesterol off. And then what you're left with is DHEA, pregnenolone, the base hormones, you kind of need to make testosterone. So cholesterol is actually the granite from which your body makes carbs out, chisels out stuff all off of it. And what's left is a lot of the hormones, a lot of the ring structures that your body needs to communicate its health and across organs and keep you healthy. So it's not the end of the world. Cholesterol fasting works with cholesterol. I like it. Whole eggs. Look, I probably one of the things I spend the most money on, and I don't care, is the foods that I eat. I try to get organic, very good, wholesome foods. And maybe I'm kind of cheap everywhere else. I try to save money on my clothing, on anything. I just look for a special. I don't like wearing huge name brands. I buy clothing at Marshall's, TJ Maxx, wherever I could find it, Ross. I'm cheap when it comes to some of these superficial things. It's just whatever. I like driving used cars from the 90s. A little Japanese car from the 90s is what I prefer. But when I go to the store to get my foods, I make sure to get the best quality stuff I can. And yeah, a gallon of organic milk is going to be almost twice as much as a gallon of regular milk. Same thing with your eggs. Same thing with any of your foods. You're going to be paying way more to get the good stuff. The reason all of this bad stuff exists to begin with is because over time, industrial food manufacturing figured out more and more and more ways of making food in mass cheaper and cheaper until we get in there. And now, we got gallons of milk and eggs and all these and bread and all these staples that are extremely cheap. But as more awareness about health and our bodies as we've had more awareness and health about our bodies, I'd say the good last 20 years. Now we're back to making organic stuff, making stuff the old-fashioned way. And that stuff is more expensive. It's really, if you're at the grocery store buying the cheapest foods you can get, but then you're going into the shopping mall trying to get name brand stuff, you're getting it wrong, in my opinion. If you're ripping your credit cards apart and get into debt to buy trinkets and things with letters and name brands on them, but then you're cheap when it comes to the kind of foods that you need to put in your body, then you're doing it wrong, buddy. My opinion. If there was,
I argue this with people all the time. They're like, it doesn't matter if you get an organic tomato and a regular tomato. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it does matter, because that tomato that was sprayed with pesticides, those are cancer causing things on that tomato. Those are weapons of war. They used to spray that shit on people during World War I to kill them. They used to spray them on Vietnamese people during the Vietnam War. These are weapons of war that you're putting in your body in small amounts at a time. It doesn't make any sense.
Everyday consistency over years and years and years.
Plus the nutrition in that tomato. If you're spraying something, you're killing all the beneficial nutrition. You're killing the bacteria. It's going up into the plant. It's going inside the plant. The plant is sucking it up out of the ground, and it's going into the actual thing that you're eating. So you're actually consuming it. Yeah. And over time, it's not going to be good. But yeah, it's more expensive to grow an organic tomato than a conventional tomato. I grow my tomatoes organically. Why is it more expensive? Because of pests. The pests are going to eat your tomatoes, and that's fine. I lose some tomatoes from pests. Whatever. I pick off little caterpillars off my plants, but I'm not going to spray them with pesticides. It doesn't make any sense. Even if I have to go out there twice a day, which I do, and take off the caterpillars and throw them in the neighbor's yard, I'm going to do that. I'm not going to just be lazy and spray them. But farmers that are lazy, they grow the conventional things because it's cheaper. They are able to yield more from that. And the same thing with chickens. With chicken and eggs, it's the same thing. It's much easier to raise chickens and feed them crap than it is to let them eat a proper foods outside. They need more land instead of keeping them in a cage, keeping them in a barn. So yes, it's more expensive. Hence, you're going to pay a little bit more. But at the end of the day, it's not that much more expensive, believe it or not. It really isn't. I mean, you're talking
If your health,
$1.50.
if you take your health into account, it's the best investment you can make. And yeah, I've gone and done shopping with people, but just buy regular food, and regular food is extremely cheap. I mean, you could fill a shopping cart for, not that much money, 100 and change. But if you want to get the good organic stuff, the good shit, right? I mean, it's gonna be, a couple hundred more, 300 for not even a full cart, and it's just the way it is. And if you are wearing all this name brand stuff and having outer trinkets, but then you're cheap when it comes to grocery shopping, I think you're doing it wrong, in my opinion, at least. I don't know, but I mean, I'm the kind of guy that if I see a girl with a nice pair of silicones, but she maybe could have gotten braces first instead of the silicones, I'm the kind of guy to notice little things like that, right? Because I've seen that. I've seen a girl with big old boobages and she just skipped right over the braces and when it just got the tits. And I just, I don't know. There are different priorities in life, I guess, right? But I guess that's why, Steve and I sit here and do this podcast, right? Because, this is just something we've made a priority in our lives. It's to be real careful with everything we put in our bodies and be very conscious and listen to our bodies and how your body works and acts. Look, I'll tell you a very personal secret, but it's something all of you guys should know. When you go to the bathroom and you smash a number two, you shouldn't be there wiping for hours and hours, dude. If you are wiping a lot, something's fucked up with your digestion. You should be able to get clean very quickly. It shouldn't take that long. And if you are, then you're not eating the right amount of fiber. You don't have a good gut biome. You don't have a good gut health with enough friendly cultures in there. You don't have proper amounts of digestive enzymes in your digestive system. It's one thing to just notice that you should. It's one thing to just notice that you should be.
And that's step one if you want to fix your gut health, because 85% of people have poor gut health in the United States.
Most people have bad gut health. They don't meditate. And also their spine and their posture tends to be pretty fucked up too.
Yep. And then especially us in the bodybuilding industry, because our diets are very, very, heavy diet. We eat too much food. We eat too often. And then we also lift weights. So of course our spines are going to get messed up. But the number one thing you can do to fix your gut health is not put pesticides and Miracle Grow and herbicides into your stomach. So that step one would be purchasing organic food or growing your own food, so that would be step one. If you can nail that down, then you can move to step two. Step two would be, fasting, stuff like that. Changing the types of foods you eat, obviously, are very, very important. So those are, and we've talked about that on prior podcasts, but the number one thing you can do, the simplest thing you do, is buy organic fruits and vegetables and stop eating processed junk. That's the number one thing. Same thing with your eggs, same things with your meats, high quality, step, I get step 4 grass-fed beef myself. It costs a little more, but it tastes 100% better. And honestly, you eat it and it's so light on the stomach compared to going to Walmart and buying like their crappy $1.99 beef. It's so light on your stomach. You know what I'm saying? You don't feel like crap afterwards. So
if you're eating a lot of foods that have and a lot of stuff that's had the fiber extracted from it, separated from the fiber, just psyllium husk, just a couple of spoonfuls of psyllium husk every day, that'll have your digestion working well. At least you get it off the toilet seat with just 1 or 2 quick wipes and you're done. Real easy. So it's just gut health, guys, definitely. And the foods you eat matter a lot. I mean, you are what you eat. That saying's been around forever. There's another saying from ancient Egypt. goes something along the lines of the good foods you eat feed you, the bad foods you eat feed your doctor. Ancient Egypt is where this was found in some hieroglyphs. So this knowledge has been around forever. Yeah, guys, don't be cheap with your food, with what you put in your body. Make sure if you're going to overspend on something, if you're going to treat yourself on something, treat yourself on that. It's just my opinion, man.
So next one we're talking about is DNP. Is this a good idea? This is a guy who's overweight. He wants to know if DNP is a good idea. I think DNP would be a good idea for our next compound episode, Rick. What do you think?
I don't want anybody out there using DNP, man.
Yeah.
I mean, people yeah. out of all of the bodybuilding drugs that one could take, DNP's probably killed more people than. Can you think of any other bodybuilding drug that's killed more people than DNP?
I mean, diuretics have killed people, but yeah, DNP might be. Not even bodybuilding people in general.
Obviously, because a lot of people that there are just don't know anything about training. They just want to lose weight fast. A lot of people that are maybe on their way to a problem with anorexia or something like that, some mental health issues, will use DNP as a fast, quick fix. And I mean, what am I going to, I don't know. We could do a compound episode on DNP, but I'm not going to tell you how to use it. I'm just going to tell you, don't fucking use it. And I'll probably, you know what? We could do a podcast and go down the line and the names of everybody that's died using DNP, where they're from, their age. A bunch of kids in their 20s have died using DNP, and not like one or two, like one or two per year almost. It's bad. Didn't this guy go to jail for selling DNP? One of the guys involved with Tony Hughes, Dr. Tony Hughes, enhanced athlete, weren't they involved somehow?
Yeah.
And
yes, I believe
and
so,
dude's doing.
There was a couple guys,
doing 3 years in jail for DNP. I mean, yeah, man.
At the end of the day, it's not a good idea. I've run it before. It's really not that. It's not really that good of a fat loss drug, to be honest with you. It really isn't. And we can get into the science of how it works when we do the compound episode on it. But the reason, DNP is used at the high levels of bodybuilding at certain points. I don't know if guys still use DNP, if they still mess with it now. I've interviewed a couple of these guys. Obviously, they're not going to open their mouths and say they do use it. Obviously, it makes no sense for them to say. But it's basically it's an antiseptic, it's an herbicide, and it's an explosive. We were just talking about putting stuff in your body that's organic. Well, DNP would be something that's very, very toxic on the body. And I use it for a very short time. I was asked to do some videos and write some articles on it. And I'm not one of those hypocrites that it's going to write an article on something that I've never even used. So I did run it. It's not that good of a fat loss drug at all. I actually gain weight on it. And the reason you gain weight on it is because your body's retaining water while you're on it. Then when you come off, that water retention comes off and you do lean out a little bit. But it's not a good way to lose weight. It's a miserable, miserable experience. And, I'll get into it. So I tell this person, absolutely not. We're going to talk, if we talk about the compound episode, I'll go through all the negatives about it. But if you want to be miserable, this DNP will make you miserable, but it's much more better just to fast. Why not just do a long 5-10 day fast? You're going to lose a pound or two a day. You're not going to be miserable on your fast. The first couple of days, you might have a tough time, but by the third, fourth day, you're going to be in ketosis. You won't even feel any hunger. You won't feel any appetite. You won't even want to look at food so you're not going to be miserable on a fast. So why not just fast for 5 or 10 days and lose that weight? And you're actually boosting your insulin resistance in the process. So, you're getting health benefits, you're getting autophagy, you're getting all these health benefits. So just fast and don't be miserable instead of running something that's going to make you
boosting your insulin sensitivity. You always tend to get the sensitivity and the resistance to insulin a little bit switched up.
We want to boost insulin sensitivity, reduce insulin resistance. That's what type 2 diabetics have. Type 2 diabetics and pre-diabetics are type are insulin resistant. They build up the insulin resistance over time by eating the wrong foods, by eating too often, by eating too much. So you want to boost your insulin sensitivity by fasting. So yeah, I apologize if I
Metformin.
no. A lot of type 1s actually inject insulin more than type 2. Type 2, there's so many diabetes drugs out there that help with blood sugar. So a lot of people aren't taking, but some people cannot tolerate metformin or any of the diabetes drugs, so they still inject. I know I have a lot of type 2 diabetics in my family. Some of them can't handle the drugs, or upsets their stomach, gives them issues, and with their gut health. So they'll inject the insulin, pretty much before, after eating a meal. And it's you don't want to be in that situation. So yeah, DNP does nothing for insulin sensitivity, but fasting does. So fasting has so many health benefits. It's so much more better. So we have to say that. And then when we do the DNP, we can lay out our things. But no, stay the hell away from DNP, guys. It's not a good fat loss drug at all. Anything you lose, you're just going to gain back. It does not help.
And who the fuck who needs to lose fat that fast that they would take DNP? Like, why do you need to lose fat that fast? That's why I think that there's a psychological issue with a lot of these people that take DNP. Because, I mean, why do you need to lose fat that fast? Why? What's up? If you're going into a show, maybe you shouldn't have gotten so far out of shape to begin with. Maybe you should have planned your show well ahead of time and not made such a spur of the moment decision to want to compete. And now you need to take basically a poison, a pesticide to get you lean. Why, if you have this urgency now, if you're not going into a show, you just want to get lean fast. If you have this urgency now, well, what the fuck were you thinking when you were overeating and gaining and gaining and gaining and gaining weight until you look like shit? And now you're in a hurry. Now there's a sense of urgency. Like, how the fuck does that work? I don't probably, maybe I'm being judgmental because I don't live that way, but how do you fuck up for so long, let yourself get fat, and now you have this extreme need to get ripped fast, and you need to take a pesticide to do it and risk your health in the process and feel miserable every day in the process? If you are okay going through that pain to get lean, just fucking dry fast. Let's do it. Fast. Just start with time restricted feeding. Go really hard. Do 2 hour a day eating window. 1 hour. Just one big meal per day. Clean meal. You'll suffer a little bit in between. I tell you what, though, you're not going to feel like shit like on DNP. You're not going to sweat yellow. You're not going to sweat, something that looks yellow, and you're not going to need to put a box fan in front of your face the whole day. I mean, you're not, it's not going to be like that, but you'll fucking lose some body fat if you do that. And then compound that with some wet fasting, maybe a little bit of dry fasting. I mean, go hard. If you're really that much in a hurry, go hard. Go hard. Throw some juice, some steroids on top of that so you can maintain some of your lean mass. It doesn't all melt away. Go hard. You won't feel as miserable as you will taking DNP, and you won't be risking your life. As long as you stay hydrated, you won't be risking your life to the degree that you would be taking DNP.
Yep. And then the long-term health benefits are going to be
amazing. Long-term health benefit, you'll kill the hunger. You won't ever be hungry again. I mean, unless you start eating like shit again, carbs, carbohydrates, sugars, then you're back. You like, it's like an alcoholic that starts drinking again. Yeah. But you don't, it's a fucking mental crutch. You got a fucking mental problem, dude.
I was going to say the big difference between DNP and fasting. Fasting, if something goes wrong, you start feeling nauseous, you're throwing up, you're having diarrhea, something goes wrong, you can break your fast. Have some melon,
bone broth, good.
Yeah. You break your fast, you're good to go. You'll feel better.
Coconut water.
Yeah. With DNP, if something goes wrong, if you dose it incorrectly,
might be too late.
You're going to go to the hospital and your body temperature is going to be so high that they're not going to be able to bring it down. They're going to be putting ice packs on you, trying to bring your body temperature down. But the thing is that DNP has such a long half-life that you're fucked. you're just going to basically cook yourself from the insides and cause problems. So that's the difference between fasting and DNP. It's a huge fucking risk. And I did DNP back in the day when I was a lot dumber. And I did it when, I had to, pay my bills. I had to write some articles. I had to do some videos on it. So I had to learn about it by doing it. But right off the bat, I knew this shit is bad news when I tried it. And I'm like, I'm never touching this shit again. So,
with
that's
my willpower, I've always been able to just, if I really want to get lean fast, I'll just won't fucking eat, pump some sauce, and I just won't eat. Well, fast, basically. I've never had an issue with willpower in that regard. So I've never needed to use DNP. Even when I've had a real legitimate reason that I needed to lose body fat and get lean fast for whatever reason, I can just stop eating and be all right and I do just fine. And that to me has gone a much longer way. Go fast, time restricted feeding on some fucking steroids, and you are good. Stay hydrated. You're fine. No calories all day, just a small 1-2 hour window. If you want to go hard, 2 hour window where you actually get 1,000 calories in a 2 hour window, 1,000 lean calories in a 2 hour window. I mean, you're good. 2,000 calories, 2 hour window, lean 2,000 calories, And what I mean by lean is just no sugars, no carbs, good protein, good healthy fats. Make sure you take multivitamin, multi-mineral with it. 3D Multi from my brand or N2Guard, take right along with that, which has multivitamin, multi-mineral built into the N2Guard, N2Guard.com, the plug. And you're good. It's all you need. I don't want anyone out there to think taking DNP is a good idea. Matter of fact, I think we need to do a DNP show where we just shits on DNP from start to finish. I don't know. I don't want to piss any people off, but I think it would be worth to maybe at least mention some of the ages and dates of people that died using DNP. Because a lot of kids, a lot of young men, young women have fucking died taking DNP the wrong way. And I think, and if we can do one show and promote it to make sure that we get a lot of ears on it, maybe we can keep some people from fucking up, because DNP is serious. Look, the first time that I heard of someone dying from DNP was in around the year 2000. Actually, I'm lying. Around the year 2003, 2004-ish.
Because I remember on the old EF forum,
the old EF forum,
if you ever posted DNP, just the word DNP, you got banned instantly.
Yeah.
And that's probably why. Yeah.
Yep. Because there was a kid that used DNP and he died. And there was a pusher, a guy going from forum to forum to forum trying to get customers for DNP. And he got this kid passed away. And from then on Elite Fitness, you weren't even allowed to talk about DNP because it's completely unnecessary. I think if you find yourself in a situation where you need to lose weight that fast, that you need to use this stuff, there are other psychological issues at play. And I know the mentality because I deal with a lot of guys that listen to the show, that reach out to me on social, and they'll send me pictures. They'll say, Rick, what am I going to do about my chest? I'm tired of this. My belly. I'm tired of this shit. How do I get this off right now? And you know what? I do help you guys when you come to me with that. But you got to know now off the bat, when I see you, I realize that, hey, for a long time, you got up in front of the mirror and ignored that belly. Or at least you ignored it to the degree that you've seen it in the morning. And then when you went to slam some waffles and bacon and syrup and OJ and all kinds of crazy shit on your breakfast, maybe a scoop of ice cream, what is that, chocolate topping stuff? You went and did that for a long time. You looked at yourself in the mirror, watching that belly, watching those man tits, watching those folds and on your triceps grow and grow. And then you said, all right, now I'm going to get in that kitchen and make it worse. And you fucking did that day after day. You really fucking did. And then now you're writing me and you're just desperate to get this weight off of you that you and I know took a couple of years to put on, but now you're in a hurry to get it off. And look, I get it. I understand it. I can understand what you're going through. I get it. But just how you were able to ignore it for so long. Now you need to understand that the only thing that's going to get you into good shape, is going to get you lean and keep you lean, is to build the lifestyle habits to support a lean, good looking, hard physique, good lifestyle habits on a daily basis for weeks and weeks and weeks and months and years. And then you'll be fine. But you can't ignore this shit. You can't ignore what you're seeing in the mirror for years and then come to me and say, Rick, I'm tired of this shit, Rick. I want to get lean. What do you think about DNP? Because look, I'm gonna give you good advice and I'm gonna treat you with kindness, but I already know there's something off about you. You just got to know that, because you don't do that, right? So it's just something to know, guys. I'm very passionate about this subject because if I can keep guys from overeating, getting out of nasty shape to begin with, getting into fucked up looking shape to begin with, so that you're not in a big rush, so that you're not taking X amount of drugs on a continuous basis, just to get down to lower teens in body fat. If I can keep you motivated to keep the lifestyle going, I think we'll have a lot more healthy, lean looking individuals out there. And you're not going to be, just smashing your health, smashing a ton of drugs into your body and doing extreme things to get into low teens body fat because now you're serious about it after years of ignoring it. It's just what it is, guys.
All right, guys. So yeah, we're gonna definitely talk about this. Next podcast, Rick, DNP. We go.
You convinced me, bro. Let's do DNP next
Okay.
podcast. I think we should. I think the people need it.
So next week, guys, we're gonna come up with episode 366. It's gonna be all about DNP. So it's one to listen to if you've used it before. If you're thinking about using it, definitely listen to the podcast. We're gonna go over it. We're gonna go over the science. We're gonna tell you the truth about it, and you guys can learn a lot about it. And I think if you learn about it, you'll make the right decision on what to do. For Stevesmi and Rick, this has been another episode 365. We will talk to you guys next week. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.
Have a good one, Steve. Have a good one, guys.
Guys, this is the required legal disclaimer. We are only sharing our experience from years of steroid use. We are not doctors, and none of what we say should be regarded as medical advice. Always check with your doctor before taking any drugs or starting any training program.